Ezra Levant here from Rebel News. I'm on my way to the airport. I'm going to take a night flight to London, England, which tells you one thing. There's more Tommy Robinson news. In fact, I'd love it if you followed along at TommyReports.com. I'm taking the night flight. I'm going to land around 6:30 a.m. I'm going to make my way to the Royal Courts of Justice. I'm going to put on something a little more presentable and get a little less scruffy. And I'm going to live tweet the proceedings, which I think you might be interested in. I'm going to do little live tweets from the court, and if there's a break, I will do videos and I will post. You can't do a video in the court, but I'll step outside the court and do a video and post it at TommyReports.com. Here's the news that I find hopeful and heartwarming. As you know, Tommy Robinson has served more than 200 days in prison in a maximum security prison called His Majesty's Prison Woodhill, HMP Woodhill, where there are murderers. So what's Tommy in jail for? Well, he committed no crime. He's actually there because he put up a Twitter tweet of a video he made called Silence, that a judge said, "You don't put that Twitter up, sir, or I'll send you to jail." And Tommy put it up and he was sent to jail. Not just jail, one of the worst prisons in the country. An abusive prison governor named Nicola Marfleet, a DEI affirmative action hire, who I think has no control over the prison. It's a violent prison run by the prison gangs. So I think to show how butch she is, she thought she would be particularly sadistic towards Tommy Robinson and put him in solitary confinement, which is meant as a temporary punishment for a prisoner who's committing offenses while in prison. It's not meant to hold someone for 9 months. Nicola Marfleet needs to be fired and prosecuted for misconduct, by the way. We'll put that aside for now. But Tommy Robinson is appearing via video link, unless Nicola Marfleet cuts off that link again, as she has done in the past. Tommy Robinson is appearing via video link to the court, where, if I'm not mistaken, he will tell the judge that he has, quote, purged his contempt. That's the legal word for coming into compliance with a court order and telling the courts that you're not insubordinate, that you respect their dominion over you. Tommy Robinson has served more time in prison than any other British journalist in history for publishing something a judge said not to publish. In fact, it's extremely rare for a journalist to be put in prison at all. Tommy is the first case in almost a century in the United Kingdom, but he's always been the enemy of the state. And the things he talks about in that movie, Silence, that he had tweeted, are the kinds of things that the British establishment don't want talked about. Syrian migrants, for example. In that video, Tommy talks about Muslim raid gangs. He was certainly ahead of the curve in so many ways. Anyways, he didn't take that video down, so the judge sent him to prison. The video racked up about 165 million views, by far the most viewed documentary in UK history. But alas, 9 months in solitary confinement is too much torture for anyone. And Tommy Robinson deleted the video and asked anyone else who had republished it to delete it as well. I understand this evidence will be put to the judge tomorrow, and it should be that he is released shortly thereafter. Again, he should never have been in prison in the first place. This is more evidence that the UK does not respect freedom of speech. This is something that Donald Trump and J.D. Vance brought up with British Prime Minister Keir Starmer when he visited Washington a month or two ago. Starmer lied and said free speech is respected in the UK. It's not. So I'm going to be live tweeting the proceedings. I think they start at 10 or 10:30 in the morning from the Royal Courts of Justice. I'll put on a suit jacket for that. I don't think it'll be that long, but I'll have a video report before and after court. You can find that at my special website, TommyReports.com. I'm catching an economy class airfare from Toronto to London, and normally I go straight home, same day kind of thing, but I'm sticking around for a couple of days because I think Tommy could be released as soon as this week. So I'm just going to putter around the UK for a couple of days. It doesn't make sense to go back. So I'm, in addition to my economy class flight, I will be in a hotel for several nights. I think it's important for me to be out here. First of all, I want to greet the man. Nicola Marfleet, the sadistic governor of the prison, has not allowed me to visit, which is abusive and a violation of Tommy's rights. The British prison system is out of control. It is not controlled by the government. It's controlled by the gangs. It's atrocious. So I haven't seen Tommy in months. I want to catch up with him. I want to see him. I want to greet him. I want to bring him news from the outside. I want to hear his news. I understand that I may be able to get an interview with him if he's released on a particular day, which I think he will be. And so I'm going to be in the UK for a few days. Tomorrow morning to live tweet the proceedings from court. And if he's released later this week, I will be there on the scene, and I'll try and have a sit down with the lad himself to catch up and to catch you up. And we'll show you what's on his mind after 9 months in solitary confinement. All right, I'm arriving at the airport right now. I got to go through security and get on the plane. If you want to follow along, go to TommyReports.com, and I'd appreciate it if you help me cover the cost of my economy class airfare. And I'm staying in a really little hotel in London with a tiny little bed. I don't want to tell you where, because I don't want fans or foes showing up, but you'd sort of laugh at how little this hotel room is. I guess spaces at a premium in London. If you can help me cover those modest expenses, please go to TommyReports.com, and I'll have more for you when I land. Cheers.